Hey, wrestling fans, welcome to the One Wing Wrestling Podcast, where we help you navigate the complex world of pro wrestling, bring you the best matches, world class wrestlers, and news you can count on. At One Wing Wrestling, we bring the elite to you. My name is Krishna Dhanai, and joining me as always, Mr. Bill Cutbush. Bill, how's it going?
I'm fine. Rain, whatever, right? I'm great. But dude, the real story today is you. Because yesterday, a certain Krishna Dhanai finished the Ride to Conquer Cancer, 200 kilometers of biking over 2 days, uh, celebrated by raising his bike up for what it did. Hey, now, my first question, which you have to answer, is did you, in fact, throw the bike over the rail into the Niagara Falls?
Oh, there are pictures of that no one posted yet. I'm gonna post
Okay.
those ones, but there are pictures of me. It's funny, people were watching me pretending like I was throwing my bike over the falls,
Yeah.
which is pretty hilarious. But
But
yeah.
more importantly, how was the ride?
The ride is a very humbling experience. The ride teaches you what you can and can't do. It's I apparently the first day, they changed the route. No, obviously I wouldn't know because I've never done it before, but my friend who's actually done it like 9 times said he's never seen it like that, to the point where people were complaining because they changed it to basically a very hilly route. Now, obviously that means a lot of people were, they had to get off their bikes and walk a lot of the hills. Remember the 200 kilometers, right? So it was 100 yesterday, well, 100 the day before and 100 yesterday, so 200 altogether. Very, very, very extremely hilly. Now, I got to see a lot of, obviously from Toronto to Niagara Falls, a lot of open area, like really, really nice outdoor places. Some like the entire ride was painful, but some of it wasn't painful because you're out there, the breeze in your face. There were times where I was just pushing and I felt like the bike wasn't moving. Like I was just pushing and pushing and just wasn't going. My buddy actually, sometimes he actually was physically trying to push me up the hill, like trying to as much as he can. So kudos to him as well. Um, yeah, it was, as I said, a painful, humbling experience. But you go through it and you see people of all ages doing it. Like I'm talking about, like, well, I think there's a there's a limit. You have to be 16 or over to do it. But people from 16 and above. I saw this one guy, with, I believe, who was his grandfather. They were on a tandem bike. He did the entire thing. And I was like, wow, that's impressive. Like you see these things, right? And you're like,
Mhm.
that's pretty impressive. They had a 16-year-old girl there who's battling stage 4 cancer, and she was doing it. Like she was actually doing it. And
Wow.
and even she said, like we were talking to her, say, I keep forgetting her name, but I'm like, you're a real inspiration to all of us, right? And she was saying, yeah, she's like, I have to take sometimes the sweeper, because sweeper, for anyone who doesn't know, it's these cars that come and ask you, are you okay? Like if they see
Hmm.
you kind of like pulled over, and that's the one thing I must say, the organization, like how everything was organized,
Hmm.
fantastic. Like they had sweeper cars, so cars with like bike racks, and these are all volunteers, I should point out. So it's people with biker racks with bike racks on their cars,
Yeah.
just like going by you, asking, are you okay? If you're not well, they would put the
Hmm.
bike on the rack, take you to the pit stop, and help you out there. And there were paramedics like throughout, get these guys on their like mini motorcycles kind of thing.
Yeah.
I say mini motorcycle, but actual motorcycles. And they were just going by and making sure the police, for the most part, had blocked off the intersections, and which, for drivers, we really do apologize for that. Getting out of the city, getting out of Toronto, that is, was insane. It took us like 2.5 hours to just get out of the city, just because it was
Oh,
stop and go
wow.
and stop and go and stop and go. And this massive crowds. Once we got outside the city, it was pretty wide open. Um yeah, it was quite the experience. Like, on Saturday night, I was mentally drained. Mentally
Yeah.
and physically, I should say, right? Because mentally I was like, I have another 100 to do, right? And my body,
Oh,
my
man.
body was just like, we rented a hotel in Hamilton, and my nieces came down with my sister and brother-in-law, and we were just there, and I was lying on the ground, like literally just lying on the ground. And I was like, can I just lay here for a second, like just lay down and
Yeah.
stretch out and all that stuff. It was humbling to the point where, like, I was showing my aunt some of my stats from Fitbit, which it was
Hmm.
counting all this stuff. And on Saturday, so remember I told you it was so hilly and like I had to walk up a lot of hills. I'm not ashamed to say I had to walk up some hills because
Hmm.
like I felt like I was gonna die at some points. So I showed my aunt that and I said, "Hey, is this normal? Like this is what my like you're in the zone fat burning minutes were." So Bill, if I was to ask you, how long do you think in minutes, how many minutes do you think my heart was in the fat burning zone on Saturday? And remember how tiresome it was and hours we spent out there. How many minutes do you think?
Minutes?
Minutes, yeah.
600.
You actually are the closest person to the entire thing. Everyone was like 200, 300, 694 minutes in fat burning zone,
Yeah, yeah. I went
right?
for the way I did it. I mean, well,
Mhm.
don't forget, in spite of the fact everyone
Yeah,
thinks walking
you
isn't
walk. No,
exercise,
no,
but
it is
I
definitely
do I
exercise.
do like 10-minute 10-minute kilometers, right?
Mhm.
So like I'm moving pretty damn fast when I walk, and I know how fast my heart beats during that time, right? And how many. So yeah, it's I went with 10 hours approximately.
Yeah,
How long did it
yeah.
take you? About 10
It took us a
hours?
little. It's
Little
so the
over?
first day took us over about. I think it was we started at I want to say we started at 9 and we finished by about like 4:45. So almost eight
Yeah.
hours. Yeah,
Yeah. So and I went for like around 100. I just
yeah,
round number. I went 100
yeah,
beats. You're healthy, so 100 to 110 is probably your fat burning zone. So I went
yeah.
yeah. So 10 times
It
six.
it it
Yeah.
it was like it was insane. It was absolutely insane that I've never had obviously. Well, it's funny because Fitbit's telling me I'm breaking all these records
Hmm.
for myself. I'm like, what? How am I breaking a weekly record
Yeah.
on a Saturday? But yeah, it's again, it's a humbling experience. I mean, it was for a great cause. It was 4,000 riders out there. Now I think it was 4,000 from Toronto because so there's a couple of rides. There's
Hmm.
the Toronto Classic which goes from Toronto to Hamilton and then to Niagara.
Hmm.
Then there's the Niagara one where it goes from Niagara to Hamilton and then back to Niagara, right?
Okay.
And then there's the Hammer, which I think people are crazy for doing this, but it's like I think one day of 160 kilometers climbing. No, no, thank you. I'm okay. Day two, Sunday,
Yeah.
we started with I think it's the Hamilton escarpment. Is that what it is? Where it's apparently so they said so we're riding and the first thing this woman she's like enjoy the hill guys and I'm like hill right they're
Yeah.
like don't worry you guys will get through it and the hill was so long but it was so gradual it felt it like when you were riding it looked
Yeah.
flat but you could tell it wasn't flat because as you're spinning, the bike is not spinning. You have to actually keep going, and it went on and on and on. And when you get to the top, you're like, wow, we were actually overlooking Hamilton right now. It was
Yeah.
insane, right?
Well, there's the Hamilton Mountain, which is part of, as far as I'm aware, the Niagara Escarpment. And the
So there,
Niagara Escarpment,
maybe it's the Niagara
it
Escarpment. I mean,
the
yeah.
Niagara Escarpment runs from Niagara Falls all the way up the Bruce Peninsula.
Whew. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I used to
yeah.
live right next to it. So
Oh, there you
yeah,
go,
the
there you
Bruce
go.
Trail runs along it, right? So
It,
yeah,
yeah.
it's I can imagine once you get up there because I'm thinking about like Kush and I go to a park in Stony Creek regularly, which is up on the escarpment,
Mhm.
and yeah, it's quite the climb up, and that's a fairly quick
It's
climb in a car. So
Yeah, it was quite the climb. And you know what? I mean, we got it. I would say
mhm.
Sunday was more of the quote unquote easier day,
Yeah.
because it wasn't as hilly. But like it's funny, I finally got to the what we call the rally. Actually, as we're riding, this guy rides by me says, "You hear that? It's the water. We're close." And I guess that kind of kicks you into a little bit of another
Hmm.
gear.
Oh,
And then
100%. Yeah.
you ride along the Niagara Falls, the waterfront, and it's
Hmm.
all blocked off. It's just you, your bikes,
Oh,
and
that's
it's
awesome.
such it was nice, cool breeze. They
Hmm.
had cheering stations. People were cheering like everyone on. And then we got to the team rally point, which was 2 kilometers away from the finish line. So we all stopped. We had a drink of water and stuff like that. Okay. So I told Naveen, my buddy, I'm like, okay, so how long do you think it's gonna take us? He goes, honestly, it's flies by. I'm like, but I go, is it like 10 minutes, 15 minutes? And he's like, no, for 2 kilometers. He goes, dude, honestly, we're gonna hit a downhill. And that finish line is gonna come quick. So I called my
Yeah.
sister and my family, and I'm like, hey, just we're gonna be there. And she's like, oh, we're on our way, we're on our way. we flew, like we weren't even
Yeah.
trying. The downhill
Yeah.
just carried us. And I don't know, the woman that was announcing people crossing the line, they must have had like a camera like
Yeah.
zoomed in because the front of our bikes had our names, and she actually said our names as we crossed the finish
Oh, that's
line.
so cool.
So it was, and she actually said where we were for, like the teams that we were on. It was actually it was again humbling experience for anyone who does this regularly, like yearly. You have my, honestly, like I don't know how you do it on, like it's amazing. It's amazing. And people have done, I was reading some of the people's stuff to 13 years, like
Hmm.
9 years, 10 years. I was like, wow,
Yeah.
it's such a great cause. And I'm like, people are raising like like millions of dollars. It's amazing.
Oh, that's
I
so
was
cool.
I was yeah, I was shocked with the amount of fundraising.
Hmm.
But yeah, if you were to ask me today, would you do this again?
Yeah.
My answer would be like, what this taught me was where I'm lacking currently, health wise and physically. My leg muscles are just not there. Like as I said, remember I said to you, I said I was
Hmm.
pushing, and I felt like the bike was going 5 kilometers an hour. That's it. Right.
Yep.
My bike, there were points where we were flying down hills. The bikes are taking you 40 to 50 kilometers an hour. Like you
Yep.
can't even spin, it just flies, right?
Hmm.
5 kilometers, and I'm pushing and I'm pushing. And I was like, I could tell exactly where I'm lacking right now.
Hmm.
So yeah, if you were to ask me today, I'd be like, let me sleep on that.
Yeah.
But I know where I'm lacking. I know where I
Yeah.
need to improve if I plan on doing this again.
Right.
And yeah, it was a great experience. I crossed finish line. I had Tristan and Daniel was there, and everyone, and my mom. And Daniel, obviously his dad passed away recently as well with
Hmm.
due to cancer. He even said, he goes, "Would you consider doing it again?" And right away I was like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I'm in so much pain.
Yeah.
Um, excuse me. But he's like, I'm thinking about doing it. And then Tristan's like, I think I want to do it too. I said, if you guys are serious and you
Hmm.
guys want to train for it, then I might join again, right? Let's
Hmm.
just do it. We can create a family team, and everyone can join. Even you can join, Bill. Like, I mean, and
Good
anyone
luck
can
with that,
join.
guys. Good luck with that.
Bill's like, I will donate to you
I
guys.
will
You
donate to
guys, you
all
guys
of
can
you.
kill yourself.
When you guys want to do a 200K walk, let me know. I'm down. I will happily walk from here to Niagara Falls, but
Yeah.
I will not ride.
They do have walks and stuff like that too, as
Oh,
well.
I
You know
know.
that, right?
Oh, I know.
Yeah. So yeah,
I've done the 10K. I mean, I was the
yeah.
fastest walker in the entire CIBC Run for the Cure.
Oh, nice,
Yeah, the runners
nice.
all beat me, but I was the
Fastest
fastest
walker.
walker in the
Yeah,
entire thing.
that's amazing.
And
That's
I was not
fantastic.
speed walking like
No.
Santino either, okay? Just for the record, I don't
Oh,
speed
boo. I
walk.
thought it was Santino speed walking.
No,
But yeah,
sorry.
but like, yeah, this was like, as I said, I'm in pain.
Hmm.
But it was really about the experience.
Yeah.
It was pretty fantastic. But I'm hurting. I'm gonna hurt for a week, right? But at the end of the day, we raised money for the awareness. That
Hmm.
was the most important thing. We
Absolutely.
met some really great people, right?
Hmm.
Some inspirational people as well, right? And yeah, at the end of the day, it was an experience. And again, I encourage anyone, if you want to try it, do it. Like I would just say, train for it. Go out. That young girl who told me she was training for it again, 16 years old. She stage 4 cancer. And I asked her, I said, how long have you been training? She said, oh, me and my dad trained for a year. And her dad has done it for like 10 years. So,
Wow.
yeah. So, yeah. And I know people are saying, well, I'm not in the best health and stuff like that. I'm not going to say this. I'm like, I'm not trying to be mean here. Everyone there aren't like in tip top physical shape. Like
No.
everyone there is like different body sizes and everything.
Yeah.
They're just doing it.
People also like they think of like athletics, I think sometimes, and then they put themselves down because they see athletes on
They
TV and
can't do
stuff
it.
like that,
Yeah.
and then therefore they can't do it. I got news for you. Look, my upper body is nothing to write home about. I got a good dad bod going on, right? But my legs are in great shape from all the walking I do, right? I'm probably the opposite of you in the sense like
Yeah.
I don't have
Oh,
biking muscles, but man, I can walk forever, right? And not a problem.
mhm.
But upper body, pff, But that's my point, right? Everyone has different talents, everyone has different abilities, and you put your mind to something because
Mhm.
90% of the stuff, like you said, when you got there, you were mentally exhausted. It's because
Mentally
this is a
exhausted.
mental
Yeah.
exercise as much as anything. So yeah,
No,
no,
but that was my weekend.
yes. Well, I just want to thank you for doing it.
Oh,
And dude, like it's inspiring as hell.
oh,
Congratulations. So
thank you, thank you,
wow,
thank you.
that's a hell of an accomplishment.
Oh.
But we are not here just to talk about Krishna's ride to conquer cancer or getting in shape or anything else. We
Nope.
are, in fact, here to talk about professional wrestling. We are here for our weekly show where we're going to talk about some wrestling news. We're going to look at the Krishna's Rampage report this
Mhm.
week, soon to become the AEW Roundup again
Collision.
once we
Yeah.
have Collision back. Though we will be talking about Collision today and of course, the wonderful decision on how it will be aired in Canada. And then I'll be talking a little bit about Japan this week. Mostly Stardom, people. Mostly Stardom. Just heads up. So we'll of course be giving our matches and wrestlers of the week at the end of it as well. So, shall we get into some news, Krishna?
Let's do it.
Okay. Well, first in the news, I just mentioned it. AEW Collision will be airing in Canada, everybody, on TSN Plus streaming only, just like Rampage.
So I guess they really don't want people in Canada watch Collision in any way.
No,
Like, how's this good? I don't understand how this is
I
good
don't
in
know.
any way.
Yeah, let me explain something to our American viewers, to our American listeners and our
Mhm.
overseas listeners. You see, here in Canada, TSN, as you've probably heard me complain about occasionally, their streaming service is like it sucks because it is merely an add-on to their because they have four different channels on TV. They really concentrate on their cable TV offering. You don't have cable TV, you want to get this stuff on TSN, it is garbage. They do not care about wrestling at TSN at
Mhm.
all. Keep in mind, literally, Dynamite out ratings Raw in Canada in the demographic in Canada, which is 25 to 54, by the way,
Mhm.
not 18 to whatever, because, like we're talking about, this puts me in the demographic, by the way, in Canada. I would just like to point that out. I am, in fact, in the demo in Canada. But listen, AEW outdoes WWE in Canada in certain areas. It's a ratings draw.
Yeah.
Why TSN persists on sitting on this and acting like AEW is irrelevant? I mean, I get it. They probably have hockey they want to put on Saturday nights, right? I mean, that's got to be half of it is that Saturday night is hockey night, and that's where the ratings are for TSN. So they are going to bury this show on streaming. Fine. Then don't make the deal with TSN.
Mhm.
Put it somewhere else. Is there not a network in Canada that would be willing to run this?
Well, that's the
Like,
weird part because Sportsnet, which now
mm,
owns like hockey as well, Sportsnet, TSN,
mm,
and so forth,
yeah,
right? Rogers Bell, whatever. They have WWE, and
yeah.
they show WWE on their channels. And when there's hockey, guess what? They have other channels. They're like, you can watch it on this channel, or
Yeah,
we will
exactly.
replay it later on for
Hmm.
you, right?
Yeah,
Putting it on the streaming TSN streaming service,
yeah,
which I'm not gonna lie, no one watches the TSN streaming service. Okay,
yeah. I
um,
tried.
it's this is useless. This is absolutely. I
Hmm.
saw this and I was like, what? I was like,
Yeah.
why? Like, I don't get it. You have Dynamite that beats almost everything, and you're telling me you're not even gonna give the Saturday show. And listen, you don't have to put it on the same day. You can put it on later, or you reshow it the next day, whatever. People will still watch it, but you're telling me you're not willing to even give it a shot. You're putting it on your stream service, so
Put it on TSN 4.
yeah,
Who's
yeah.
watching TSN 4 anyway? What, you got too many darts you need to put on television? Is there another pool tournament that needs to be put on? Like, come on. I'm sorry, strongman competition? Like,
Yeah.
this is the kind of garbage you get on these channels anyway, regular. No offense to people who do those sports. I'm filled with hyperbole and irritation right now. So I really don't think your sports are garbage.
Yeah,
Um,
agreed.
But anyway, my point being, the TSN streaming service, like you said, is garbage. You know what the problem is too? Okay,
Mm.
Rampage, 10 o'clock on a Friday night. I was never watching it live on the streaming
Yeah,
service
agreed.
anyway, right? So I would always go look for it on demand. Sometimes it would take them days. They're worse
Yeah.
than Stardom World at getting these shows up, you know? And the fact is, it's 1 hour of programming. 1 hour. You've got one job, TSN. If you're not going to show it on your channel, I mean, at least with Stardom, it's like these are their house shows, and they're kindly giving them to us on their service, right? Like one job, TSN, to get them up on time, and you didn't. So, like, even Brian Alvarez was talking about on Wrestling Observer, the podcast this week. A lot of Canadians will probably be searching for VPNs.
Yeah, that's it. That's
Mm-hmm.
definitely what it is, because it's like I'm not wasting my time with this.
No.
TSN, like TSN Direct or whatever you want to call it,
Mm-hmm.
whatever the service is, it's terrible. I
Yeah,
absolutely hate it.
it's
So
garbage.
so yeah, I would rather, as you said, Fight TV, all these other things, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can
Yep.
easily get to these shows.
Yep.
So if TSN wants obviously to lose money now, well, get on
Yep.
them. They
And a
just
lot of
lost it.
Canadians get American VPNs and watch it through American IPTV and stuff like
Yep.
that, right?
Yep.
So, you know what? TSN, this is the problem. Like they were talking about too, how this affects the ratings, right? Because
Mhm.
Canadians who are watching these things through VPNs are not being counted in the ratings,
Yeah, that's true.
right?
That's very true.
So, yeah, it's interesting. It's a mess. I mean, Canadians, like, I don't understand why we're the one country that gets shafted on
Every time.
AEW all the time. And it's
Every time.
because it's TSN. TSN is just the worst,
Yeah.
you know?
Every single time.
Anyway, to move on, hopefully they will figure something out, but don't count on this moving tickets at the Collision tapings, people, because Canadians can't watch them anyway.
Yeah, who cares?
So, yeah. Anyway, Roosh and his father quit AAA.
Who's Rish's father?
Bestia del Ring. Saturday, he and his father, Bestia del Ring, have quit Mexico's AAA promotion. This is their second time they quit. They announced on Facebook that they are now totally independent. The problem is, of course, this has put Triple onto a bit of a bind because Roosh and LA Park were scheduled. They were going to be taking on Sam Adonis and Psycho Clown at Triple Mania in Tijuana, where
Mhm.
the losing team would wrestle against each other in a mask versus hair match at August Triple Mania in Mexico City. Now, that Mexico City Triple Mania, that's their WrestleMania, right?
Okay.
That's their
Okay.
biggest show of the year. That would have been, in all likelihood, the thing that pushed the most tickets for that card.
Oh.
And Roosh has quit and left now, so that is not a possibility. And in fact, it would have pushed more tickets than the championship match that's happening at that August card. Kenny Omega taking on Vikingo del Io
Oh.
for
Okay.
the or El
Which?
Io del Vikingo. What the hell did I just say? El Io del Vikingo for the Triple A Mega Championship. So yeah, that's going to be one of the main events. But this would have pushed more tickets in Mexico for it. The mask versus hair matches are big deals. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. When Dragon Lee signed with WWE, Dragon Lee's Roosh's brother, by there. Roosh, who I thought was signed with AEW. I thought he was just all elites altogether. I didn't realize he was working with AAA.
Mhm.
Yeah. I feel like Collision coming together with what's his face with Roosh and oh my god, why am I forgetting his name? Um um and Andrade. What do we call him?
Yes.
Right.
Andrade,
Yeah.
El Idolo. Yes.
El Idolo, yeah. I feel like this is probably a better move for Roosh. He's gonna get so much more exposure to North America, right? That it makes sense. And the North Americans love him. And
Mhm.
I'm not saying that in any way that Triple A and where they are broadcasted, they don't love him, right? I'm sure that in Mexico they love Roosh. But guess what? In the US and Canada, we love Roosh as well. All right. And he's getting so much more exposure up here. I hate saying up here, but up here that I feel like I'm not saying this is like the best move for him. I'm saying that it just kind of makes sense. Now he said he's independent. I'm kind of saying, oh, he's kind of signing with AEW and stuff like that, right? But the more time he has to
Yeah.
wrestle with AEW, teaming up with Andrade and stuff like that, I just see that as a plus. And I'm being selfish here. I'm being selfish in terms of I want to see him more on TV in a big faction like that. So it sucks for Triple A, but I kind of see it going the
Well, he
other
was
way
already
for
signed with AEW,
he is,
though,
he is,
right? I
but
mean,
like,
I
what
don't
kind
think
of
this really
contract is that?
affected his AEW run. He has a contract with AEW. He's just
So
not with AAA anymore.
But what was his contract with AAA? Was he had like a certain like I guess
I have no
appearances
idea.
he had to make
No,
or
I have
something like
no.
that?
Well, I mean, beyond the fact he had those matches ahead, I don't know.
Hmm.
He worked for them, which meant that he was also banned from Forbidden Door, right? Because
Yeah,
he's AAA, not CMLL.
yeah,
So,
true, true.
however, Lucha Blog, who is a Twitter account, but he's also a strong expert in Mexican wrestling, pointed out
Hmm.
that this will not instantly allow him to be on the Forbidden Door card, though.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, so we're still not going to get Roosh at Forbidden Door, but
That which
there.
kind of sucks. I was kind of
Mhm.
hoping to get Roosh at Forbidden Door, but Roosh is one of those guys where like if I see him on a pay-per-view, I like it. If
Mhm.
I don't see him on a pay-per-view, it's not like I'm missing the world here, right?
Right.
There are more important people I would want to see. No offense to Roosh. Roosh, I love you. But I mean like Kenny Omega and all these guys. Like and Forbidden Door is a pretty and we're gonna get to this eventually, but like it's gonna be a pretty stacked card with yeah, and you can only have a certain amount of matches on there, right? We're not
Yeah.
gonna go for a 10-hour show here.
Yeah.
As much as we love it, we're not gonna go for 10 hours here. So yeah,
Hmm.
Roosh, this is interesting. You know what? I guess we don't really know why he left. He just left.
Yeah, he didn't say.
Right. I mean, this could be for personal matters. We
Hmm.
don't know, right? I just hope that it works out for Roosh because I think he's fantastic. I think he's absolutely awesome.
Yep. Oh, I love the guy too.
Yeah.
Great. But speaking of Forbidden Door and people who can't compete at Forbidden Door, this is the I'm going to call this the nail on the Stardom coffin at Forbidden Door. Stardom this week told Dave Meltzer directly, and I want to make sure that this is clear.
Mhm.
AEW did not contact them regarding Forbidden Door at
Stardom.
all.
Oh, okay, okay.
I find that incredibly interesting because we had Mr. Tony Khan talking, oh, yeah, I'd be open to working with Stardom, blah, blah, blah. But according to Stardom, they were never contacted.
So that's weird, right? Because like from what we were again rumors, right? Is
Mm-hmm.
that oh maybe Stardom will be part of it because Stardom is
Mm-hmm.
like the biggest like women's wrestling or just wrestling
Promotion in the entire
promotion
world. Yes.
in Japan right now.
The entire
Um,
world. Yes.
but that's interesting because I guess we were all under the assumption that Tony Khan had reached out to everyone, right? I don't because what's it called? Stardom is not owned by New Japan, right?
No, they're owned by Bushiroad. Bushiroad
Bushiroad.
owns both of them.
Both of them. That's something I thought. You'd assume if Tony Khan reached out to Bushiroad in terms of like talent for the show, why would they not have discussed
Well,
Stardom?
because the New Japan personnel are
Hmm.
different than the Stardom personnel, right? The
Hmm.
people who actually run Stardom and the people who run New Japan are two different groups. They might both be owned by Bushiroad, but Bushiroad isn't like in the day-to-day governance of each organization,
Okay,
right?
fair enough. Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then okay, I guess then it's just weird. I don't know why they wouldn't ask for Stardom.
I have no idea why they wouldn't ask for Stardom talent because that to me says one, Tony's being a little duplicitous about his
Mhm.
yeah, we could totally work with them, and then doesn't even bother
Yeah,
contacting them.
he made the comments about
Assuming that
that.
that's, but I mean, I'm assuming they told Dave Meltzer the truth. There's no
Oh yeah.
reason they would
Oh
lie to him.
oh. Unless they're playing him, things have happened, but I doubt that. I
Things,
really
but
doubt that they're coming out and saying Stardom's not part of it.
yeah,
They're not part of it.
and they're Japanese, I mean, the
Yeah.
duplicity's generally not there. If they directly tell you this didn't happen, it probably didn't happen. Um, at least I would assume so. But anyway, the fact is, uh, Tony, it sounds like Tony didn't try. And for me, Tony, you broke my heart just a little there, Ben. You did, because this would have been a great find. This would have been a great exposure of Joshi wrestling to North America, first of all. And secondly, you could have put on some of the best women's matches in the world. I mean, imagine this card with the two matches we've already got on it. And then you've got like a Julia or Mayu Iwatani taking on like, the best that AEW has to offer. Like Jamie Hayter would have been the perfect
It
choice.
seems like a very odd decision. Like, I mean, I can only see the pros of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Publicity for Stardom,
Mm-hmm.
exposure to North America,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have your wrestlers face off against them. You get some great matches, right?
Yep.
But you you choose not to, and I'm trying to figure out why that would be the thing. Are you afraid that the Japanese wrestlers are going to show you up, and people are going to be like, whoa, there's other women outside of like the USA, right? Is that what's going to happen? Like I don't know. I can't. I'm just I'm just joking about this, but I don't know. I don't know why. Because you're right. Tony Khan was asked this during the press conference
Mm-hmm.
for the last pay-per-view, and he said that they're looking into all avenues. But you
Yeah.
didn't ask them. You're just lying at that
Mm-hmm.
point, right?
Yes, you're looking into all avenues could mean we considered contacting them, but didn't.
Yeah,
Right. I mean, that is one interpretation of that. So he didn't lie. It's just very bureaucracy speak.
yeah,
We are
yeah,
seeking to explore, you know.
yeah.
Yeah. It's words that don't mean very much when you actually
No,
think about what the
no.
words that were said. Yeah. Anyway, so I call that the final nail in the coffin. I'm not thrilled, but what can you do, right? So I have a quick game of Guess the Stars, Krishna. Very
Let's
quick.
do it.
Remember
Let's
last
do it.
week,
Let's
my
do it.
match of
Let's
the
do
week
it.
last week. Tomohiro Ishii, Suchika
Yeah.
Okada, Hiroshi Tanahashi taking on John Moxley, Claudio
Yep. Yep.
Castagnoli, and Shota Umino. Guess the Stars.
I'm gonna say Meltzer liked this one because it had a mix of everyone he likes. He gave it a 5. He had to give it a 5.
He did give it a 5. He gave
Okay.
it the
All right.
same thing I gave it, 5
All right.
stars, because it was a phenomenal match. So, yes, there you go. You got it. You win Guess the
Yep. There
Stars
you
this
go.
week.
There you go.
Okay. We also have a quick card update, as all of you who listen to us regularly know. Smash Wrestling here in Toronto will be putting on a big combo show June 25th, right before Forbidden Door, next door at the Air Canada Centre. Oh, sorry, Scotiabank Arena.
You're
It is
good.
Smash, combining with Femme Fatales, Progress, and Defy. And we now have a bunch of matches announced for these cards with a lot of extra people that weren't there before. So you ready for
Okay.
this lineup, Krishna?
Let's go. Let's go.
Here's the Femme Fatales card, and we will discuss it in detail, of course, in a preview show closer to the date. But here it is quickly. We have Casey Spinelli and Mary Lee Rose taking on Miley and Kristara in a tag team match. We have Taylor Rising taking on Silesia Sparks. That should be really good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We have Alexa Nicole, the champion, the Femme Fatales champion, taking on challenger Nicole Matthews for that championship. That should be a good match. We have a triple threat, Jody Threat taking on Trisha Dora, taking on Ali Ketch. We have Camille versus Vanessa Craven. And finally, we have Nikita taking on Liza Hall for the Smash Women's Championship.
Oh
So
wow.
that's your lineup.
They've really
Sounds
updated
pretty
it.
good. So
Yeah.
that'll be the
Seriously.
first show on the Saturday that we will see.
Mm-hmm.
And then we now have 4 matches announced for the Progress Defy Smash show. And they are the Bollywood Boys will be taking on Juventud Guerrero and
Oh
Matt
wow.
Cross.
Oh wow. I haven't heard that name in a long time. Juventud, eh?
Yep.
Matt Cross, we know because we've seen him like before.
Yes.
Real recently, I should say. Wow. Okay.
Yep.
Well, and I guess we saw Juventud on AEW one time, but oh my goodness, I haven't heard that name in a while.
Oh yeah, I know. Hoovy. Good
Hoovy.
stuff. And the Bollywood Boys, who are very good.
They're funny, yeah.
Yes. We have Spike Trivet, champion, taking on Artemis Spencer, who's a Canadian from BC, who's wrestled quite a bit for Defy, for the Progress Championship.
Okay. Okay. All right.
We have Schaff, who is a Navy vet, big power lifter brawler guy from the US. He'll be taking on Brian Keith, another fairly large guy, bit of a freelancer from the States, from Houston, Texas. So that should be more of your semi-brawling, some high-flying stuff. We have Charles Crowley taking on Gringo Loco.
Oh, my boy
Gringo,
Crowley.
he is there, and he'll be taking on Gringo Loco, who is 37, but he is a professional luchador base. I'll put it that way.
Okay, got it. Got it.
Yeah, he is very good at wrestling luchadors. In
Okay.
fact, Vikingo had nothing but really good things to say about the guy because of how good he was able to make Vikingo look in their match. So,
Oh, okay. Okay.
yes. He knows exactly what to do. It's funny because I hear Meltzer talk all the time about the difference between being like fighting in a lucha style and fighting in like a standard North American or Japanese style. And you really have, that's why Kenny Omega's performance of Vikingo was incredible, because he was able to pull off the stuff that you normally don't get out of anyone except another luchador.
Fair
Right?
enough.
Yes. So it's pretty cool. Anyway, oh, in other Smash news, really fast, Psycho Mike is teaming up with Maggot in the WXW or XW. Yeah, Bill. WXW World Tag Team Festival in September in Germany.
Oh
So
wow,
they are
good.
forming a tag team together, which should
Maggot
be
was
pretty
actually
great.
fun. Yeah, he was fun to watch, and I
Yeah.
mean, obviously, like Psycho Mike is Psycho Mike, so
Yes.
that's good on him.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, that will be pretty cool. Hopefully some of those matches will be available somewhere where we can see them. So, do you have a dirt sheet for us this week, Dhanai?
Not really a dirt sheet, just a rumor
Okay.
going around that Disney is actually looking to purchase the TV rights for WWE. And I was like, that's the weirdest thing I've ever heard in my life. Because like I was like now remember when I say Disney, everyone needs
Mhm.
to realize Disney owns ESPN, right? So
Yeah.
so that's what I mean by when I say Disney. But the funny part about this rumor was the rumor was that they wouldn't air WWE on ESPN.
Hmm.
They would air it on FX1 or something like that because they
Yeah.
own FX as well, because they want to separate sports from sports entertainment, which I
Oh my
couldn't stop
God.
laughing about. But you know Vince and Triple H or the Endeavor Group, like if they get the right money for this, of course they're gonna accept this. And that was, like I heard the rumor at first, I'm like, this is ridiculous because from what I've been hearing from WWE is like they're looking to get more edgier, right?
Yeah.
Not AEW edgier because AEW has blood. They want to stay away from blood. That's what I mean. Right? But AEW edgy, it's blood. That's what I'm talking about. They stay away from that. But I thought this was just a funny little story. I read. I'm like, oh, I go, it's interesting, but like they're gonna get their money. Like the AEW, that's the thing. AEW and WWE, two different companies here,
Hmm.
right? WWE, they're guaranteed contracts for TV anywhere for anything, right? Someone will pick it up based on their fan base. AEW is getting there, but they
Oh,
have to
they're
work
already
harder.
no, they're already there. If you look at the ratings for
Mhm.
AEW, they're gonna get they get really good TV deals because they're one of the top rated shows on cable television on their night. Yeah, maybe they don't have the same ratings as WWE, but if you
Yeah,
line them up against anything, they
they're
pull
getting high rated.
substantial ratings, like a lot better than most of the other shows that they stick on cable television, right?
Yeah.
So they are actually already entitled to very good TV deals based on their ratings as they currently stand. Never mind. I mean, they are successful under any definition. They're doing
Mhm.
way better than TNA ever did, for
Yeah.
an example. I mean, they're a solid number two and pulling in solid ratings and stuff. So
Y-
they're not
I think,
WWE in terms of
yeah.
that kind of stuff. They're just much better at wrestling.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. I no, well, I think the product is better.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna lie. The product is better. I still always do get a little bit of an indie vibe to it, which I'm okay with now. I'm like it's more of they focus on the wrestling versus
Mm-hmm.
the sports entertainment. Like I love the fact that Jericho's group is sports entertainment. I like it have that,
Yeah.
right? And they have their little bits here and there, but
Mm-hmm.
it is what it is. They have something for everyone. Um,
Yes,
but
that's quite true.
but I just thought it was funny that Disney was one of the top contenders for this. I was like,
Mhm.
WWE on Disney. Wow, what the things that are happening in the world today, right? So that
Yeah.
was the only kind of rumor that I
Yeah, that's
heard.
actually pretty funny.
Yeah, it is
I
funny.
want to see I want to see the mouse on
Yeah, the House of
WWE
Mouse,
channel.
right?
Yes, the
WWE and the
House of
House of
Mouse.
Mouse,
Yeah, you got it. Cool. I couldn't think of two better bed companions. Hey,
right?
maybe they can get Kathleen Kennedy to executive produce them.
Oh my
Anyway,
goodness.
we're not going to go down that road. So this brings us to the Rampage Roundup. What do you got for us?
Cool, cool, cool. So of course I lost all my notes.
Of course.
Yeah. So Rampage, as normal, I guess, opened up with a pretty great match. As I said this a couple weeks ago. Rampage is always opening up with a couple of great matches. So unfortunately, I was obviously passed out when Rampage aired. So I got to see like snippets and highlights of that. But I got the lowdown of what happened. So like the first match was the Firm, Bill Moriarty, Big Bill, and Lee Moriarty, including Ethan Page. Now I know everyone's thinking, wait a minute, isn't Ethan Page owned by Matt Hardy? Well, they did come out and say that this match was booked before they actually owned. So fair. That was good. Versus the Lucha Brothers and Bandito. The Lucha Brothers and Bandito are like off the planet. Like I don't even understand. Bandito was doing some Lucha things, which I've never seen him do. Or I would say I probably saw him do it his first match against Jericho. But after that, like he's been doing some lucha things, but more of like a strong man kind of thing. Like he's just showing his strength, right, which has been fantastic. But this match, teaming up with Penta and Ray, who's again the best wrestler, sorry, lucha wrestler that's ever lived. Fantastic. Like you add in like Moriarty, who's a great, technical wrestler, I guess we call him. Ethan Page. I'm always like just stuck on Ethan Page. He's a good wrestler, right? And Big Bill, who plays that big guy, like probably one of the best big guys they have. Just watching this match, the back and forth, the flips, me and my flips. I love the flips. The one part where I think it was Penta ends up launching Bandito over. I was like, that's goddamn impressive. Oh my goodness. The team up with the Lucha Brothers taking down Big Bill made sense. He plays that role, like just kick after kick after kick. That move that Ray does, where he kind of the semi 619 move where he kind of goes, like he gets hit and he swings out the ring and swings back like with the fluid motion. No one does it better than him. I've never seen anyone do it as fluid as he does it, right? Everyone else kind of seems like, oh, this is planned, this is played, but he does it as if it's just momentum taking him back, right?
Yeah.
Amazing. Like Ray Phoenix, absolutely. Every time I see this guy, I'm like, I'm always thinking, you can't impress me more. Every single time this guy impresses me. Every time. Like this, and Bandito as well. Like, listen, I have so much fun with Bandito. I love him tag teaming with the OC, and I love him with the Lucha Brothers. So, whatever they want to do, I'm cool with this. Amazing match. I love this match was fantastic. Now I know some people might have had a problem with the end of the match, the way it ended. The match ended based on gear. So apparently the Hardys had given gear to Ethan Page. He had to pull it up. It's the Jeff Hardy like armbands basically was what it was. But he ends up getting Bandito's finisher, and he gets pinned. I forget what it was called, like the something plex. I don't even know what it's called, but he gets it. He gets pinned. And listen, at the end of the day, no one thought these guys were gonna beat the Lucha Brothers and the Bandito. And yeah, I thought it was kind of it was. Listen, I like variety. I don't care. Like this never happens, so whatever. I don't care. I still like I like this.
The 24 plex.
Yeah. There you go. I'm not gonna lie. At the ending, when they did their dance off, I couldn't stop laughing because I thought it was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. I said to you, Ethan Page as part of this is gonna be so friggin' funny. I love how Ethan Page is dancing, but he's still acting like he's angry about doing everything. Even when Matt Hardy was telling him to say delete, he's like, delete all of you, and he's like, okay, that was kind of harsh. Let's not do that, right? But if you know Ethan Page, obviously that this is all kayfabe, and he actually in an interview said that he's living out his childhood dream. Like he's the biggest Matt Hardy fan, so the fact that he's even there is like he's loving it, and I love. Listen, as I said, Ethan Page, I'm not the biggest fan, but I really like him with these guys. I really like him. It's so stupid, but I really like him.
I just want fewer of those, and I believe Brian Alvarez put it best. WWE finishes.
This is basically what it was. This is basically what it was.
Yeah.
100%. I love how his own team interrupted him.
Yeah.
It wasn't someone else. They didn't play his own team thing.
Yeah, the ending was terrible. It's a terrible way to finish a great match. But
yeah, agreed. Then stupid stuff started happening. Okay. Karen Jarrett and Aubrey Edwards. Now we know, Aubrey Edwards is the referee. We know she was also an indie wrestler before she became a referee. For some reason, now we're gonna have a trios mixed wrestling match where it's going to be Karen Jarrett, Jeff Jarrett, and obviously oh my god, why am I forgetting his name? Jay Lethal.
Oh, I heard it was Sanjay Dutt.
No. It's Jay Lethal.
They made it Jay Lethal. He
said I would do it. Then he's like, no, you're gonna do it. And Jay was like, okay. Versus Mark Briscoe, Aubrey Edwards, and as much as people are gonna be like Aubrey Edwards, that's not even the worst part of it.
No.
Papa Briscoe?
Yep.
Is this something we asked for? Is this something we asked for? I don't remember.
No, it wasn't.
For, right?
No.
Okay.
No, it was not anything we asked for.
So, yeah, I don't know why it's happening. AEW fans, again, if this is for you, great. I don't know who asked for this match. If you had said, okay, it's going to be another Jarrett match, okay, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. But like his wife, we're going to include Karen in this? Okay.
Can you guys put this on Collision?
Yeah, put us on Collision or something, because we won't be able to see it anyways. Then they had like the QTV kind of like roundup, which was kind of funny. I actually laughed at QTV.
Yeah.
And then a squash by Powerhouse Hobbs. Now my thoughts are Powerhouse. I think we saw in the graphic Powerhouse Hobbs is part of Collision, right? I'm hoping they do something with that. I'm hoping he's like the big bad again in there, because that would be cool, because he actually is big and he's really good at wrestling. So make it something. And then, yeah, have QT and those guys go there too, because QT's hilarious. I think he's so funny, underutilized, probably one of the better wrestlers that you can have there.
Yep.
So put him on the card with Powerhouse. Like I'm okay with that. Then again, some silliness continued. I mean, they had your favorite tag team, the Acclaim, with Billy Gunn, so the trios, against the Spanish Announce Project. Now, I'm sad here because I hate seeing Angelico like this. I really do. I love to see him on TV, but I just really miss TH2.
Jack Evans. Yeah.
Jack Evans, TH2.
Yeah.
Like, no offense to Serpentico or even Luther, but like, I just don't. Every time I see these guys, I'm like, oh God. I'm like, all right. And then, of course, they're facing off against the Acclaimed. All right. Did anyone think this match was going to end any different? Right? Of
course not.
Billy Gunn pops in. Yeah. Ooh, they had a near fall. Did we really think he was going to get pinned? No. Even though they had to break it up. But like, yeah, they like, again, this, if there were, how many matches here? 1, 2, 3, right? This is the one you can probably skip. Yeah. You don't have to watch this one. Just don't watch it. Even the highlights were not really good. The last match, the fatal 4-way for the shot at the title from Tony Storm. Sorry, you see, I'm moving a little bit right now. Every time it actually feels like someone's grabbing onto my shoulder. It actually feels like someone's grabbing it and pulling it a little bit. And I'm like, that's the weirdest feeling. Anyways, no pain, no gain, right, guys? So last match, the fatal 4-way. Nyla Rose, Sky Blue. Sorry, Nyla Rose versus Sky Blue versus Mercedes Martinez versus Britt Baker. Now, I just said those 4 names. If you were to guess the person who was guaranteed to lose this match, if you had not watched this, guaranteed loss, who do you think that would have been?
Sky Blue.
Obviously, Sky Blue is the answer.
Yes.
That's
in fact, I would say she's probably eating the pin. But
this match shocked me. This match absolutely shocked. I was like, whoa. Did Sky Blue just get 3 counts? I couldn't believe it. Like, listen, first off, this match was actually pretty good. This match was really good. You can tell when you have, seasoned wrestlers working together, like Mercedes, Britt, and Nyla. They put on a great match. Sky Eagle was getting better. She really is getting better. I still think her finisher is a little bit ridiculous every time I see it, because I'm like, wait, so you're hopping on the person's back and then it doesn't work like that. But anyways, good on Nyla for actually completing that. Whatever her move is, the Canadian Destroyer, right? Kind of Canadian Destroyer. Code Blue, yeah. But yeah, this match was great. Like, I mean, it was back and forth. I think Nyla, like, I like the fact that Nyla had to get taken out. Like, remember, she hit the ring apron. I barely see people hit the ring apron like that, right? I was like, right. So the fact that she took the pin, like, listen, props to Nyla Rose. We've always been giving her the credit that she deserves. She ate the pin for this, and she's just happy to do it. Right? You're putting over a fresh new face. Sky Blue, the homegrown Sky Blue, beats Britt Baker, Nyla Rose, and Mercedes. This has to be her biggest win ever. It has to be, right? Good on her. This match was great. Like, I mean, it was back and forth. Like everyone, you know what I liked about this match? It was fluid, right? I didn't see any egregious like mistakes that happen. You know what I mean? Like, normally we're like, okay, that was kind of messy. That was messy. Like most of the AEW women's matches for some reason. This was really good. Like, this was actually very, very good. And that's why I say, if you have a chance, check out the first match and the last match. They're worth watching. They had really, really good showing by these women. a better like four-way, I guess, a match that I've seen in a while. Well, obviously not the the Pillars match, but this was a great match, a great conclusion to Rampage. And yeah, just again, Rampage. If you love the Acclaim, then you must have loved this show because everything on there would have been like great wrestling for you. And as I
Yes.
said, I'm not dissing the Acclaim. The match wasn't bad. I'm just kind of like,
Can I diss the Acclaimed? I
sure,
like
you can
dissing
say
the Acclaimed. Yeah, because they suck. Everyone loves the Acclaimed
except
except
you.
me. Yes. Well, there's your AEW roundup. I guess Rampage roundups. Go check out that first match and the fourth match is what you're saying.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Yeah, and I wonder how Sky Blue is going to fare against Tony Storm on Wednesday.
Do you want me to answer this? Like, do you really want me to answer this? Because I can answer it for you. Don't like. I mean,
She's going to lose.
yeah, she's 100% going to lose. Like,
Uh-huh.
anyways,
Yep.
but maybe this has to start setting up Forbidden Door. It's only a week
Right.
away,
Well,
right?
exactly. Hey, did you see who joined the Dark Order this week?
You mean briefly?
Yes,
Quick,
very
Dark
briefly,
Order.
like for about
Okay.
45 seconds. Yeah.
I did. Maki Ito joined the
Yes.
Dark
I
Order,
was like, that was great. And they
and
get
then
her
she
and she's
crushed
jumping up and
them.
down. And they're like, she's never gonna leave us. Then she goes, I'm leaving you. Bye, motherfuckers. And she
Yeah,
leaves.
yeah,
Classic Maki Ito. It was
Maki
great.
Ito.
I love her. I love the Dark Order. That was the best segment on Being the Elite this week because I gotta
Yeah.
tell you, Hollywood Hunk Secrets went downhill.
It did, right? It got a little bit
Yeah.
stupid, and
Yeah,
the rest of the being deleted was really dumb. Like
it
listen,
was.
I actually started skipping a little bit of it because I'm
Yeah, I
like,
was
this is
I was
kind of
bored
boring.
with it. I was
It's
totally
boring.
bored. Yeah.
It's like I'm so tired now. You're now becoming the next MJF, talking about the bidding war again. Like we just got past this with MJF. He barely does it now, and credit to
Yep.
him, he doesn't do it. But now the elite are talking about contracts on their show, right? I was like, come on, spend
Yeah,
the money because we're
maybe
gonna
they're
get
doing
so
it
much
tongue in
more.
cheek. I don't know. Who cares? I really respect right now. Will Ospreay. Yeah, my contract's coming up, but I'm signing with New Japan. Thanks, bye.
And Kenny Omega, who doesn't talk about this at
At
all.
all, at all,
Yeah,
ever.
yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, those two guys, man, those two guys. Anyway, well, that brings us to our journey down Bushiroad, which I have a real fast Japan note that has Forbidden Door implications. Kenta was quite vocal again about
I
wanting a
heard.
match with CM Punk.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, this isn't the first time he's tried. He's
Okay.
tried quite a few times because he wants to go GTS versus GTS because
Yeah.
he invented the move.
My move. Yep.
Yep, it's his move. And CM Punk admitted it was his move after a very long time where he didn't admit it was his move. And we have silence again from CM Punk. It's always silence from CM Punk every time Kenta challenges him. But you know what? That would be a very good match. I would like to see that at Forbidden Door, and I would love to see Kenta destroy CM Punk.
I think this match is pretty much a go. Here's my thoughts on this one.
Oh,
I think it's
yeah?
pretty much a go because I think it's one of those things where right now, before Collision, you don't want to announce a match like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you want CM Punk to like the Collision like numbers to boost a little bit more for that match they're having. I think this match is a go. I think Kenta is going to face CM Punk at Collision. They're going to announce it after the Collision show.
Oh, you mean that he's going to face that Forbidden Door and he'll like come out during Collision or something?
Well, Collision is this week is the first show, right? This
Oh
yeah, this
yeah, it
Saturday.
is. Holy, I
Yeah,
keep forgetting how close
yeah,
we
and
are
it's
to
not next
Forbidden
week.
Door.
It's this week.
It's like less than 2 weeks away, man.
This week is the first show,
Jesus.
so I wouldn't be shocked if Kenta came out and challenged him.
Yep. Wow. Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'd be down for that match.
Same.
And the thing is, though, I think that they're never gonna not put CM Punk over in that match right now. So
Is Kenta in any type of group? I don't know. I keep forgetting.
well, he was a member of Bullet Club.
He's nothing right now.
He has the New Japan strong. Wait, he's got two belts right now. He's the New Japan Strong Champion,
Mhm.
open weight champion, and he's the Defy champion.
Because my other
Because he
thought
beat
was
Nick Wayne for the
Nick Wayne.
Defy
Okay,
championship a week ago, or
because
so, two
my
weeks
thought
ago.
about this is you have to remember the opening match or the main event of Collision is CM Punk and FDR,
Mhm.
right? So I'm wondering if they'd ever do a trios where it'd be CM Punk and FDR versus Kenta, but who would be the other two?
Oh, well, I don't know. Would I guess Impact talent couldn't appear on an AEW show, right? Because then I'd want the two Bullet Club members from Impact, Chris Bay and oh my god, why can't I remember his name? Those guys are awesome in the
Mm.
ring, like awesome. And yeah, them with Kenta, they would just be incredible. Like them against FTR would just be an incredible show,
Hmm.
right?
Interesting. Okay.
But
Well,
yeah, I don't know.
we'll
I don't
see.
know. There's a lot of possibilities. There's a
We'll
lot of
see. Yeah.
possibilities, but we will see. Kenta
Mhm.
versus CM Punk, though, I'm down. I'd be fine
Mhm.
with that.
Same.
Stardom. You know, I have to talk about Stardom.
I know you do.
There was a very big match in Stardom this week, or I guess 6 days ago now, because of how long it takes them to put things up on Stardom World. But on June 6th, from Korakuen Hall, we had the generational struggles event. Essentially, they had two different generational struggles matches. Okay,
Okay.
this has been building for a bit. The people in the younger generation in Stardom talking about how the older generation is like holding them back or keeping the big matches or whatever, right? And so this finally kind of boiled over in two different matches. Only one of them currently is up on World, but that's the one I want to discuss. It is. And check out the 8 people I mentioned here just for a second and think about how many times I've mentioned them in the last
Okay.
bunch of months. Julia,
Hmm.
Siri, Tam Nakano, and Mayu Iwatani.
Hmm.
That's your first team
Okay. Oh wow. Okay. Okay.
taking on Utami Hayashishita,
Mhm.
Maika, Saya Kamatani, and
Mhm.
Suzu Suzuki.
Oh wow. Okay.
In Generational Struggles 2 is what they called it because it was the second match on the card that was Generational Struggles. This match was insane.
Imagine.
Yes, I'll go through it quickly. Suzu and Julia started it off. They go at it. Julia lands an amazing takedown that she transitions into a figure four neck lock. Suri and Micah were next. They did a bunch of solid mat grappling, both of them ending with a chokehold on each other. And then they tagged Mayu and Saya, who just went high speed. I mean, high speed, ending in simultaneous drop kicks and kip ups. Like they're all testing each other out. Right? Then Tam and Utami were next, and they just stared each other down before exchanging forearms. They beat the hell out of each other, but Utami came out on top with a shoulder tackle, drop kick, and a delayed body slam for a 1 count. She then tagged Suzu, who beat on Tam, then double teamed her with Micah, who held her for Suzu's drive-by kick. She tagged Micah, who then choked Tam with her boots, slammed her twice, did the 1 foot pin, like, you know, the big cocky 1 foot on her pin for one
Yeah.
before tagging Sai. I love Micah's new character. It's so good. I mean, she's just turned into this like total badass cocky, you know. Anyway, so Tam reversed the next whip, though, landed a backdrop driver, and then very reluctantly tagged Julia. Like this was after she'd been fighting Saya for a bit. Saya got tagged in, Tam was fighting Saya, and she very reluctantly tags Julia. Like she looks at her and she's hurting. She needs to tag out, and then she looks back at Saya and looks at Julia and kind of makes a move to go keep fighting Saya, and then finally tags Julia. Who immediately puts a brutalizer on Saya until she made the ropes. Julia then went to work on Saya's arm, then tags Shuri, and then Shuri gets Saya in the corner. They quadruple team her. Shuri then hits a bunch of kicks or PK for 2. She tags Mayu, hits a snapmare followed by a PK of her own. Saya then reverses. Utami helps her. I mean, that's what this match was like. It was like every person got advantages. Every person got the crap kicked out of them. Every person got off big moves, right? I mean, it was just, it was insane. I mean, Julia reversing Micah's spinning boss man slam into an octopus variation until Utami broke it up by lifting Julia into a torture rack, then tossing her to Micah for a fall away slam. I was just like, holy crap, seriously, people. Oh, and then of course, Julia tagged out later to Tam by
Of
absolutely walloping her with a slap.
course. Of
Of
course.
course, because Julia and Tam hate each other.
Yeah, I was
And there
gonna
was
say.
another point too where they were fighting Utami and Micah, and they managed to Micah and Utami ducked, and Julia and Tam almost collided, like hitting each other with the moves they intended for the other. And they stop there and stare at each other, and then they just start fighting each other anyway. Yeah, it was funny. And then of course we get the moment where Utami is holding, I think it was Mayu up against the ropes, and Saya runs at her for the drop kick. Mayu moves, and Saya drop kicks Utami, who then gets up on the apron and yelling, "What the hell was that?" They start arguing, so of course the other team gets back against Saya. Um, so there was a lot of stuff. There was so many good double teams, so many good quadruple teams, right? I mean, The end was coming with like Julia and Suri disposed of the people in the ring. Julia takes down Suzu with a brain buster and then hits Saya. Suzu comes back, but Tam hits a tiger suplex. I mean, it was just going nuts. Suzu pops right up though and hits the tequila shot on Tam. 1 minute to go in the match. Mayu suddenly lands the crucifix driver, but Micah breaks it up. The older generation lands a 4-person power bomb on Saya. Maya goes to the top, high fly flow, covers her, and the bell sounds as the ref's making the count. So it was a 30-minute
Oh,
time
time
limit
of the trial.
draw.
Smart,
Absolutely
actually.
incredible match. There was a lot of stuff at the end. Suzu jawed at the opposing team for a bit and kind of got into it with Micah a little bit. They didn't translate the Japanese this time because I think they just tried to get this match up as fast as possible.
Mhm.
Mirai showed up, and it turned like Shuri seemed proud of her, but it also looked like they were going to have like a rematch. But they were saying, well, if a rematch with Mirai with these people, who's sitting out, Saya or Utami? And of course, that got them arguing. Utami just shoved Saya, dropped threw the mic down, and left. So there's like stuff going on there too. So yeah, it was. But man, this match was it was one of the best like multi-person matches I've seen. It
Mhm.
just like the what a match. All four women were perfect. The timing, the moves, the emotions, like the ability to tell that many stories in the ring and keep it all consistent, right? Like you know how sometimes the partners can't get along and
Yeah.
they didn't overdo it. You know, there were the moments when Tam and Julia kind of like collided in the ring almost, and then they were forced to kind of face their crap. But otherwise, it was fine. And then, like, they even had a moment where all four of them were in the ring, like, all four in their team were in the ring together. And Maya was like, look how awesome we are,
Mhm.
right? So, Maya being like the smiley stars leader that kind of keeps the glue together, unless she goes zombie Maya, but she
Mhm.
didn't in this match. Um, but yeah, it was just an absolutely phenomenal match. Highly recommended. You all need to check this one out. It is up on Stardom World now. Yeah, I can't recommend it strongly enough. I would have given it 4 and 3/4 stars, which for an 8-person match is insanely high. So of note as well, on that same show, Natsupoi and Sorry Anno won their match as a tag team, but the tensions boiled over at the end between them because Sorry, of course, doesn't want to do the whole Cosmic Angels dance moves or be all kawaii and stuff, and Natsupoi is getting more and more annoyed by it.
Mm.
The tension has boiled over, and Sorry actually went after Natsupoi and tried to nail a Fisherman Buster on her, and Natsupoi kind of backed off and got out of it. So, yeah, looks like there's tension all over the place right now in Cosmic Angels, different factions. So yeah, that was that match. One more quick note. We do have the card now for Stardom Sunshine 2023, which is taking place on June 25th, the same day as Forbidden
Ah,
Door. And
of
I'll just
course.
run through the card really fast. We've got this is going to be an amazing show. I cannot wait to watch it, which of course I will not be watching it on the 25th. Stars Momo Kogo and Hanan and Saya Ida are taking on Waka Tsukiyama, Yuna Mizumori, and Aya Sakura in one of the pre-show matches. Siri's taking on Xena of Club Venus in a singles match. Nanai Takahashi's taking on Hanako, a rookie, in a passion injection match. This is where she just tries to beat the crap out of her and fire her up with passion. Meltier, Tam Nakano, and Natsupoi are taking on, and Kairi are taking on Maika, Suzu Suzuki, and Mei Sarah in what should be an absolutely insanely good match. The new eras, Ami Sorai and Mirai, the champions, are taking on the Club Venus team of Mina Shirakawa and Mariah May for the Goddess of Stardom Championship. Can Mina Shirakawa win back a title after losing her white belt in her first or her second defense to Tam
Ooh.
Nakano? The Bari Bari Bombers, which is the Donna Del Mundo team of Julia, Tekla, and Mai Sakurai, the champions. The Artist of Stardom champions are taking on STC, Stars Triple Crazy, Mayo Iwatani, Hazuki, and Koguma for the Artist of Stardom championship. And finally, the main event, Queen's Quest, Lady
Mhm.
C, Hina, Utami. Oh, did I mention that the Bari Bari Bombers versus Stars is in a steel cage? Um, I didn't.
Not.
It is. It's in a steel cage, and it looked like they surprised Maya with that announcement too. She's like, "What? Huh? It's in a steel cage? What?" Um, Queen's Quest, Lady C, Hina, Utami Hayashishita, Saya Kamatani, Azumi, and Miyu Amasaki. That's right,
Okay.
all of them versus Oedo Tai, Natsuka Tora, Saki Kashima, Momo Watanabe, Starlight Kid, Ruaka, and Rina in a steel cage all together. Last person to leave the cage has to join the other unit.
That's actually a pretty cool stipulation.
Yes. Stardom likes this one. And
Yeah.
Oedo Tai, I don't believe in the last few years has
Mhm.
lost a single person has to join the other unit match. This
Interesting.
is where
Okay.
they got Momo Watanabe, Saki Kashima, Starlight Kid.
Well,
The
yeah.
list goes on. Yes, they got Fukugen Death that way too from Stars. So yeah, so yes, this looks like a hell of a card. I can't wait to watch it. That cage match, I can't wait to see what happens. Right? Who on? And it's got to be someone leaving Queen's Quest to join Oedo Tai. It's got to be. So we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, that is the trip down Bushiroad, which brings us now to our matches and wrestlers of the week. Krishna, what do you got for us?
Um, match of the week. Yeah, match of the week first. Match of the week. I'm gonna give it still to the Blackpool Combat Club versus the Best Friends. I thought the match was great. Sorry, I said Best Friends, but you know what I mean. It's Chaos or whatever I call them. Or, Rocky Romero was there.
Chaos.
Great match. Hard hitting. Blackpool Combat Club just dominant. Well, not were they dominant? No, they won. But I mean, like, wow, what a match, right? Um, I loved it. I thought it was the best match on Dynamite. I really went back and forth with this match versus obviously my Lucha match on Rampage, but at the end, it just little bit again the finish of the last of the Rampage match wasn't that great. It was actually pretty bad. Whereas the finish of this one was just freaking insane. So I just gave it to these guys. So Blackpool Combat Club and Chaos.
Can't go wrong with the Blackpool Combat
You
Club these
can't.
days, you know?
No,
So yeah, very, very close to my match of the week. It is a 1B to the 1A, but the 1A I have got to give it to, and this is just going to surprise the hell out of you, right? Completely and utterly, I have to give it to Stardom. Generational Struggles 2, Julius Yuri, Nakano, Mayu Iwatani taking on Tommy Hayashishita, Maika, Saya Kamatani, and Suzu Suzuki. Holy crap.
fair enough.
What a match. These women are awesome. Way to go.
Awesome.
Wrestler of the week.
Rest of the week. This one actually should not come as a shock to you because I couldn't stop gushing about him during the show. Yeah. Ray Phoenix again. He's my wrestler of the week. This guy as I said, every time I feel like you can't impress me more. He just does it. Um, and I love it. I think he is almost like an AEW hidden gem. You know what I mean? Like outside, like let's say we asked a WWE fan, "Hey, do you know who Ray Phoenix is?" They're like, "Who? Who is this guy?" Right? Like we got Ray Mysterio. No, no, no. You got Ray Mysterio. That's great. That's great. And Ray Mysterio is probably going to go down as one of the greatest luchadors ever to do it. Right? And deservingly so.
Justifiably so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I just think this guy's better. That's all I gotta say. I just think he's better. And yeah, honestly, like every time I can think I've asked you this before. Has there ever been a bad match with Ray Phoenix in it?
No.
No,
Can't think
exactly.
of one.
There you go. There you go. So rest of the week, Ray Phoenix, and he slightly edged out Bandito because Bandito, I was just having so much fun with him this week. Oh boy, Ray Phoenix is so awesome.
Yep. Well, very close for me, of course, is Orange Cassidy because of
Mm-hmm.
that great showing that he had in his title defense yet again against Swerve Strickland, who also had an amazing showing
Mm-hmm.
in that match, which was also in my top 3 matches of the week.
Yep.
It would have been I guess that's really my 1B to the 1A, and then the BCC one is my 1C. So yeah, but yeah, Orange Cassidy very good, Swerve Strickland very good. You're right, Ray Phoenix outstanding. All 8 women in that match, just like the
Mm.
talent in that ring was just freaking insane. I mean, what a stacked roster Stardom has right now. I mean, all 8 of those women are just insanely good. So, but I'm not going to cop out and say all 8 women. I'm going to pick one, and I'm going to pick Suzu Suzuki.
Okay.
And the reason I'm picking Suzu Suzuki is because out of all the 8 women, she's been in Stardom the shortest time, and her personality stands out so much. She has so much charisma, right? I don't even understand a word she was saying when she was speaking at the end,
Yeah.
but her facial expressions come across, her
Passion.
attitude comes across, her passion comes across, her sense of humor comes across. Because I mean, she's the kind of person who always takes the opponent kind of with that, yeah, okay, whatever. Like she's got an attitude, and I
Yeah.
love it. And she just comes across so well, and her wrestling is so good. That tequila shot out of nowhere on Tam was just
Mhm.
crazy, and I love the tequila shot. It's such a great move. Um, yeah, she's just such a phenomenally good wrestler. She gives it everything every time she gets in the ring. Um, and she's what, 21? 20? So and just already an absolutely phenomenal talent. Stardom has so many of these, though. I could pick any one of them as wrestler of the week on any given week. So,
Mhm.
yeah, that is my wrestler of the week.
Awesome.
And that will bring our show to a close. And as the great one always says, who we will see live in less than 2 weeks,
Whew. I cannot wait.
goodbye, everybody. Mwah, and good night. Bang.
Good night, everyone.